Welcome, Business Geeks, back to another Business Geeks podcast with Jennifer, Sam, and myself. Today, we have so many topics to run into, questions to answer from all of you that have been submitting them over the last week. It's been a crazy week, and there's just so many things. But first, I got to quickly introduce Jennifer Crawford of Sparent.co. How are you feeling today, Jen?
Feeling great. Good to be here. Always good to see your shining faces.
Yes.
So good to hear. And Samantha Riley of SamanthaRiley.global. How you doing today,
I'm
Sam?
doing well. Happy Merry Christmas Eve.
Eve? Yes, it's Christmas Eve. It's Christmas Eve down under.
It is Christmas Eve down under. We've hit the super craziness. And how are you, Joe? How are you feeling today?
I am feeling wonderful. It's the day before Christmas Eve, still here in the Northeast, in the States, and
Christmas Eve.
Eve, Festivus for those that celebrate. The Festivus for the rest of us, and the big news today was or yesterday really hitting 1 million views here on the channel. Yes, insane,
so
insane amount to me. Like it's for somebody who for 7.5 years it took to get to like 160,000, 170,000 downloads of my podcast to in 1 year. I didn't get all million in the year, but I got like 860,000, 890,000 to like almost all of them in the year, which is just insane to me.
Especially
thank you, especially since I didn't really start till March to like really take it seriously. So not even a full year to get most of those views. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, here we are. We're here on the channel. We're here streaming to a bunch of different places right now, wherever you're watching us, or if you're listening to us in the podcast. I want to give a shout out to, was it My Podcast Concierge?
Podcast Concierge. Your podcast concierge.com.
Yes, your podcast concierge.com, who does all the podcast editing and putting it together for us to get it up on our RSS feed that you can get at your favorite podcast player outsource of choice. So better than saying wherever you get your podcasts. Like, we don't care. Like, this is now your favorite. It's wherever your favorite is. That's the kind of stuff that we do, and we are very thankful for Leon and his team working on doing that for our show. So go check them out at yourpodcastconcierge.com. Okay, so we went through some of the good news. We got to get to some bad news. So Jen, you want to take? Oh, you brought up the story last week. Do you want to? You want to take over here?
Yes, and last week we talked about a similar story that took place in a shoe factory, I believe.
No, I think it was a candle factory.
I'm sorry, candle factory, right? Candle factory. And while we were talking about it, I thought I was confused, and I realized that I had thought it was an Amazon warehouse, and then Joe was like, "No, this is a candle factory, Jen. What are you talking about?" And I was like, well, I must have just made a mistake. And then later in the week, I found that I was not, I did not lose it, that there was a very similar instance in an Amazon warehouse that was in the path of a tornado. And again, the management, the people in charge of the warehouse were telling people not to leave, that if they left because they felt unsafe, they would not have a job when they returned. And so obviously it put a lot of people in danger. And these are not the types of decisions that you should have to be making for yourself. As an employee, you should not have to be choosing between your job and your life. But that is exactly the position they put these poor people in. And Joe, you have the article. I'm not sure exactly I don't remember the numbers in terms of, casualties.
77, this article talks about at least 77 people have been officially killed by a tornado that devastated 6 states, including 6.
Yeah, so 6 families. this holiday season are without their loved ones because somebody put profits over people. And, all of us at the Business Geeks put people before profit. Because this is the type of thing, this type of devastation that can happen when you don't. So my hearts go out to those families and to their coworkers and everybody that was affected by that very, very bad decision.
It was a bad decision. Now, what came out of it is this. So they had a ban on cell phones in the workplace, in the warehouse workers. And what came out of this is them putting a pause on the plans to reinstate a ban on warehouse workers having those phones, and because they weren't able to easily be notified or be able to contact people in case of an emergency I don't know if they are specifically in Tornado Alley, but in an area that generally gets tornadoes, more so than like where I live or where Jen lives. It's kind of imperative that seconds and minutes matter, when we're talking about storms and especially tornadoes that can happen so quickly and move so quickly and pick and choose where they're going to devastate. So something, to me, that's something positive that will come out of this. To me, talking about the ban on cell phones for employees. Look, Amazon tracks every second of every day in which you are doing things. If you're on your phone, they're going to know it. Like it's going to reflect in the numbers that they choose, the KPIs that they choose to track. So me personally, I don't think it's as big of a problem as much as it's a responsibility issue on those Amazon employees to make sure that they're not like abusing or over abusing it. But with that said, like Amazon has enough issues with bathroom usage alone and robo firing people. So I mean that's a whole topic for like a whole nother day. But in this specific case, I just wanted to point out that something positive potentially has come out, if only for a little while, from the pause on the cell phone ban going forward.
Well, it's just unfortunate that it took 6 people's lives to be lost for something positive to happen, such as treating your employees with the respect and dignity they deserve, and not like children, and not like you're the overlords and control factors in their lives. So yeah, maybe we can argue that's a positive outcome, but it shouldn't have had to come to that. So that's why it's so frustrating for me and so infuriating to hear stories like this where we forget that your employees are people. Why are you treating them so badly?
Yeah.
These are, to me, this is a human rights abuse as far as I'm concerned. And I think criminal charges are in order.
Jen, thank you for saying exactly and articulating probably better than I could have exactly what I'm thinking. Absolutely agree.
Yeah. Absolutely, 100%. All right, so because we have so many things to hit on today, let's move on to this other topic that Jen just sent to us in the chat, like right before this. So Jen, do you wanna take the reins on this?
I would love to. This article came across my news feed, and it was a scroll stopper because look at the headline: TikTok surpasses Google as most popular website of the year, new data suggests. This is a shock to the tech giants, let me tell you. They surpassed the Google search engine, google.com, tiktok.com, got more hits, more visits to their website. This is something that is coming. It's a disruptor. It's something that nobody predicted. This is a change in how people are getting their content. This is something that is going to have huge ramifications. These big tech giants like Facebook and Google did not see this coming. And I find it really exciting as a new avid TikTok watcher this past year. I find myself using it as a search tool. So I found this was really interesting. All hail TikTok. I am impressed.
Yeah. I know that we actually did an episode where we were talking about TikTok, and I did actually say I did not predict that it would surpass Google. I will not claim that one, but I did say I think that it's going to be the up and comer, and I actually think it's going to give Facebook a run for its money. And I'm so glad it has. I'm so glad it has. It's still interesting to me that so many people, especially I'm going to say the mature age groups, still think that TikTok is only for 16-year-old dancers, because it's so not. And I definitely need to get my butt over there as a creator in 2022, because it is definitely where I'm consuming all of my content, or have done this year.
So, all right, I want to give a contrarian look at that, right?
We
want you to.
We're here for it.
So look, it's not that TikTok's not great. I mean, I was a big avid Vine user, getting to way back in the day at this point. The problem, and I'm kind of echoing what some other YouTubers have said about the platform, is when you, at least, and I didn't know how to articulate it myself, so I'm utilizing what they said, right? But when I watch YouTube, I come away learning more. I'm always almost always watching something that's more about learning than it is about entertainment. And the thing about that is I'll watch a 10-minute video on YouTube, a 20-minute video on YouTube, an hour-long video on YouTube, and feel like I'm coming away with something. When it comes to TikTok, I feel very like I stuffed my face full of stuff that I didn't learn anything, because I'm just constantly like scrolling. And while I do feel the need to get on TikTok, talking with my wife, she's like, well, why is TikTok so popular? I was like, well, because there's a lot of people that are dancing on there that people want to see without going to an adult website.
See,
and it's not that that's the only thing. It's not that it's the only thing, but to me, that seems like the big driver of traffic. I mean, when certain hubs.com are the biggest, some of the biggest websites on the planet, and you have this, and it's surpassing Google. I don't know.
This is what I think, Joe. And I'm going to just, talk to your
go ahead
about long form content versus short form content. I think or micro content really is what TikTok is, right? I think what I appreciate about it is that the information out there that is being shared, or the knowledge is being shared, or the how-to video, you get the best in that 3 minutes, right? Because you don't have all the time in the world.
Is that how long TikTok is? I didn't even know. I thought it was a minute.
3 minutes.
No, yeah. It was 90 seconds and it went to 3 minutes this year.
Yeah, it went to 3 minutes.
Wow.
So it kind of forces people to get to the point, get to the meat of the content. And for busy people, like I loved just that scrolling. And I've gotten marketing tips, cooking tips, decorating tips, DIY tips. There is so much great content being produced by such creative, talented, knowledgeable people out there. Is there dancing? Yes. And I love it. But it's also a really smart platform that gets to know your interests really quickly and starts feeding you the content that you enjoy and interact with. So I understand what you're saying, Joe, about learning more on YouTube, but I think TikTok has something really special to offer.
And I was going to say the same thing, Jen. I think obviously the algorithm hasn't figured you out yet, Joe, because I have learnt far more on TikTok this year about some really cool stuff than I have from YouTube. And just like Jen said, because they've managed to bring it together in such a short, concise way, just got to the point, the stuff that I've learnt there, I've learnt all sorts on there. So, yeah.
Well, that's good to know.
2 cents worth.
No, that's good to know that it's not all. I mean, I know it's not all dancing and stuff like that, and I know that I have short form content that I want to create going into 2022, especially now that once the holidays get over and I can stop rocking my Christmas stuff and the Christmas stuff in the background for certain specific videos. I can get back to that, but Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't put a lot of time into TikTok. Like, I have it on my phone, but I barely go and look at it ever. But so yeah, I mean, I applaud them for being able to do something that I don't know when did the article happen to say when the last time there was a site more popular than Google?
It was like 12 or 15 years ago. Google has been leading in those numbers. You know, the other thing, Sam, and I'm sure you've noticed this too because you're on TikTok along with me, is there is a certain culture that happens on TikTok that I have never quite seen on any other social media platform. And I'll give you a quick example. There is an independent creator. Her name is Emily. I forget her last name, but Sam, you might know it. And
is it Myers? I think that's who you're talking about.
No, but I know.
That's Elise Myers. Sorry.
Yeah, you're thinking of Elise Myers. Well, Emily Z or somebody. She, her whole account was she would get on there in like a very monotone voice and say, you know, I create logos, and she started improving the logos of major brands. But it was kind of a joke, even though she was saying it completely seriously. She would make these terrible logos for well-known brands. She would, they were awful. And what happened is she got so popular because of her deadpan delivery, and she was just really funny. The brands on TikTok, major brands, changed their profile pic to her logos. And now she's even gotten packaging deals with like major brands like Urban Decay, whose logo she completely redid into this ridiculous thing. And now they have a line of cosmetics using her joke design. Mm-hmm. So there are some really amazing things that happen on TikTok that don't happen on these other platforms. And I find that really fascinating to watch.
I agree. Did you see the guy that made the big cardboard cutout? And forgive me because I don't know your kind of chains, but it was like I don't know what you even call, like, was it a fuel station where you get food, Jen? Can you remember?
I think so, like maybe a fast food chain or something like that.
So he made this cardboard cutout of himself, made up this fake meal deal and put it in one of these restaurants. Within something like 72 hours, it had got so much foot traffic into this store with people asking for this fake meal deal when the store didn't even know how this cardboard cutout got there, that whatever the chain is actually rolled out his meal deal across the country. That is the power of TikTok.
That is the power of TikTok. It's so amazing when these things happen. It's like these crazy connections that are happening, and people are really just there's this connection and this collaboration that's happening between people that should not be happening, but it's happening.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. It's the collaborations. I've never seen people collaborating the way that they do on TikTok, and I think we're ready for it. We're ready for it. Yeah. And yes, Tim, I agree. Elise Myers is so cool.
I love her.
She is so fabulous.
I will have to check her out there. Yeah. Reger, thank you for joining us. The million view man, Super Joe Pardo. Come on, man. It's a weird feeling, that's for sure. But going back to the meal deal idea, piece, right? So I wanted to bring up this topic of marketing. So here, I don't know. Do you have Wendy's down in Australia?
No.
Oh, that sucks. I mean, look, I don't go out of my way to go to Wendy's, but like if I have to pick one of those fast food places, generally Wendy's is pretty much at the top of the list. So more so than McDonald's or Burger King for sure. So they have been marketing, like they did this a couple years back where they were marketing their fries, right? And they're like, oh, we got sea salt fries and it's this thing. But then after a while, they kind of died down. And now all of a sudden it's coming back as like, our fries are hot and crispy and it's a guarantee. And if they're not, we're going to replace them for you, blah, 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 right? And they're really going to town on the fact that they have premium fries. Quote unquote, preferred nearly 2-to-1 over McDonald's. I would agree. I much prefer Wendy's fries over McDonald's. What do you think, Jen?
About the fries?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't speak to it because I don't eat fast food.
Okay. I mean, I don't generally Yeah, well, I do, but most of it's Taco Bell, honestly. But the reason I wanted to bring this up, right, is because I heard a commercial talking about this where, free fry Friday over at McDonald's at the Golden Arches, which is just a totally different aspect of coming at like, hey, we have high quality, awesome fries. Hey, we're giving them away for free on Fridays. and this, the battle of, here you go. Friday is better than ever thanks to free medium fries. Get them every Friday with a minimum $1 purchase only in our app, which pushes people to the app, which they did a really good job of back with the what was it the McRib or no, the Egg McMuffin for like $1.50 or something, for like for the original price that it was back in like the
69
70s.
cents or something.
Yeah, something like that. But you had to get it through the app, but you had like 4 or 5 hours in the morning to be able to do that, and pushing people to the mobile ordering and the app. So which is cool. Like I am all for pushing, give incentive, get that carrot, right? And get people to go do the thing that you want them to do. And but to me, it's just so interesting to see like two different marketing of the same thing. So our fries aren't better; they're free.
Do you feel like that's thoughts? A bit of a devaluation of their fries? That's what I'm feeling. It's like, you've got the really good fries, but we'll give ours away. That's how I'm feeling about this.
On Fridays, definitely something that I don't think it's bad. I think the only the differentiator there is it's pushing people to the app, right? It's not just, hey, show up in the get your free fries on Friday. Though I will say Wawa here in the Northeast, at least, offers free coffee on Tuesdays instead of Mondays to get people foot traffic in. Does it devalue the coffee by giving it away for free when it's normally, I don't know, I don't drink coffee, so I don't know what they charge, but whatever they charge normally, they're giving it away for free on Tuesdays.
Well, I guess going back to what McDonald's is doing, you really need to know what your outcome is, right? And that's what I guess I missed there for just a small second, is that it depends on the outcome. What is it that we're trying to do? If it's that we're trying to push people to the app for, to get their emails, or to be able to send push notifications, or, giving away free coffee on Tuesday to create habits, then I'm all for that.
I see a missed opportunity here. This is what I would like to see as a non-customer. Clearly, there's a French fry war, and Wendy's started it. I would like, just like you see sign wars between local businesses, I would love for McDonald's to step up to the plate, just come to the war, and instead of giving away free fries, like maybe do something special with their fries to answer to this challenge that Wendy has put out there, and have some fun with it. I think it's a missed opportunity. This is the kind of, we're talking about TikTok and sort of, the trends and how people are consuming and enjoying content. I think that's something that could easily be taken to the TikTok platform, and they could have fun with it. And hey, let's be honest, most people who eat fast food don't necessarily only eat at one fast food place. People are bouncing between them and whatever's convenient, what they're in the mood for. So I don't think there's any danger that either of them are going to lose customers by just having fun with this French fry war. And maybe in the end, they will both end up with a better product and, a little friendly competition.
So McDonald's should go onto TikTok and have hotter, saltier fries, or hotter, crispier fries.
Yeah. Let's just call it out. Let's just call it out.
Maybe. I mean, that's one way to look at it, right? It's promotion, it's marketing at the end of the day, right? Beef sells things, and not the beef like moo, but the beef like wrapper beef, right? And things of that nature. Having problems with each other creates conflict. Conflict drives clicks and views, and what's going on with that, right? And that kind of stuff. So I don't disagree. I think it is a bit of a missed opportunity for McDonald's to step it up, and I don't think it's devaluing their fries, but maybe it's also an overconfidence thing on McDonald's thing. Like, no, everybody knows. Like, everybody already knows. We don't have to advertise it. But you know what? We're just going to give it away for free as long as you spend $1 on Fridays in the app.
It's a flex on McDonald's part.
It very well maybe, but I don't think their fries are really that good personally. Wendy's, I think, is better fries.
We've got a bagel place here in Sydney that on the wall they've actually got painted Sydney's worst bagels as decided by Google, one Google 1-star reviewer. And I have never gone there, but seriously, when I saw that sign, it was years ago, and it's still top of mind because I thought it was so clever what they did to it, and I will definitely get there one day.
I love it. It's a good sense of humor.
It does, and Wendy's does on Twitter. If you don't follow them, you absolutely should. They're perfect in their snarkiness and all that. But Sam, the second part of what you just said is like, yeah, it is top of mind. You remembered it all these years, but you still haven't spent any money there. And that.
In all fairness, it's like not on my side of the city. If it was around the corner or if it was on my side of the city, definitely would. But I'm not going to go in 3 hours of traffic to go get one bagel.
That's fair.
I mean, let's face it. It's not a New York bagel, so is it really a bagel?
Well, I don't. Well, I don't know. It's the Google's 1-star reviewers telling us it is.
The record says that same reviewer rated Joe's video the worst video on all of YouTube.
Maybe it's the same person. Quite
possibly. So let's see. As far as we have a question here that came up from Ed, who, let me share it here, says, love these kinds of episodes. I'm thinking of launching my own skincare line, but it's terrifying to think about big names like Neutrogena. Is that how you say it? And Neutrogena. It's probably Neutrogena, right? And L'Oreal, etc. Any suggestions? Is it even possible and worth trying? And I could have answered this myself, like in my live stream I did yesterday. So, we did the holiday Christmas or the holiday party here on the channel. But I was like, you know what? Let me save this question for two ladies who actually use those products and could also speak to it, considering that we have about 100 years of business experience between the three of us. I think we could probably give a better answer than if I just answered it myself. So who wants to take a first stab at it or first swipe at it?
All right. I go first.
All right. I will definitely take a stab at this. Yes, you definitely have to go for this. You have to do this. Again, I'm going to go back to TikTok again. We have seen some of these micro businesses in fashion, swimwear, in makeup, in candles, really own their niches in this is what I do, like putting their love into it, their little piece of difference. And I think that I can't speak to you two, but for me, I am much loving buying things with a story behind a product and knowing that I'm supporting someone than these big conglomerates when I don't know what they put in their products. They're in it just for the money. I feel that I'm not the only one that is starting to think like this, and I think there is a huge swing or a huge swing away from some of these big conglomerates. And I think that the timing could not be better to go out and do it on your own right now.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely.
Super passionate.
Absolutely. Yeah. And just to piggyback on the wisdom that Sam just shared, yes, it's terrifying, but you have to do it anyway. And don't think that you're competing with L'Oreal and Neutrogena, because you're not competing with them. You're not going to share shelves with them. You're not going to share a store with them. You are not competing against them. You are going after a different type of customer, a customer like me, a customer like Sam, somebody who doesn't want to see that mile-long label of who knows what in our product. It wants to support a small business who loves small batch products that are made with quality and quality assurance. That is the customer, people that maybe want a clean product, or a vegan product, whatever is your niche, or that is your customer. And are there a lot of cosmetic companies out there? Absolutely. There are so many. There are so many, but there's also a lot of faces, and there are a lot of women that are perpetually looking for good products that they can trust to put on their skin and feel beautiful. So I encourage you, start small. You know, you don't have to go out and try to compete with Neutrogena. Again, that's not your competition, but you can start by simply getting on Etsy, going to local farmers markets, telling your friends and family, starting on Instagram. It's a very visual thing. TikTok, absolutely. I would love to hear more. Honestly, I would love to get links to your products. I would love to check them out. I am always looking for stuff like this. So I really hope you take the next step.
Can I just say there's one thing that Jen and I alluded to. I wanted to say it now before I forget it. And this is a really important piece. And we didn't actually say it in specific words. Find your point of difference. That's the bit that's going to be what is going to get you to cut through. So don't compete with L'Oreal, like really make sure that it's very, very different. This is why it's different. That, you know, we use this specific rose hip oil that no one else does, or, you know, we use this because it cured a rash that I've had for 10 years and, you know, other products make it worse, or whatever it is. But you need to find your unique piece of difference.
I mean, that's literally what I was, most of what I was going to say. It's okay. It's okay. It's like, I still have more to add to that, though. You know, understanding and going really deep into the hole that, like, the L'Oreals and the big names are missing, right? Because they're not necessarily micro-targeting that specific niche. So, like, get really granular with who it is that you're speaking to that's going to buy the product, and then it'll make it so much easier for you to, like, hit that nail on the head with them, right? And make them say, yes, like, I want this. And we've seen it so many times, like all these Shark Tank pitches that I've done. There's been a number of beauty care products that have come on the show that I've done, reaction videos to. And, you know, every single one of those ones that are even going to remotely be successful, the Sharks almost every time say, don't worry about going into retail. That's like a pipe dream. Like, you know, that's like a lightning in a bottle situation of the right everything comes together, and there's an opportunity for you to go, you know, really focus in on that digital marketing, talking to those people digitally and selling direct. You'll make more profit. You'll have less headaches. And you'll be able to really make that personal connection, going back to like what Jen said, with who that person is, and they'll be able to connect with you on that personal level and feel really good about buying your products over going to like the store, the big box store, and buying whatever's on the shelf. So really focus in on that person. I'll offer my avatar guide. superjoepardo.com/avatar, 64 questions. It's a workbook to answer, you know, each of those questions and get really deep into those, what, not only like, are they an Apple or an Android person, but like, why are they an Android person and what specific Android phone are they buying and why? So then you can look at the marketing of said product and like get really deep into like the specifics that are going to work for you for that particular avatar. So it's a lot of work. I mean, it takes over usually an hour or so to go through each person every time I've gone through people with it, but it will make all the world of difference. Don't worry about the big box, the Neutrogena, the L'Oreals, and all that. And remember this, right? Everybody started small. It's something that my dad used to always say, like, look, we try to help other small businesses where we can, but at the same time, there's certain, like, we were small too, and then we weren't small, and we were the ones that were at the top with the target on our back. So, you know, they started small, they got rolled up, you know, they had lots of money funneled into them and things of that nature. You're not competing with them. You're really competing against yourself, in my opinion, when it comes to getting that real targeted message to those people.
Give yourself a ding for that last bit, Joe.
I need to like get you guys the bell. We gotta get some stream decks so you can each pipe your own bell in.
Oh, that would be great.
And then so we're all hitting the bell at the same time, and it's canceling the sounds out. Sorry, just get yourself one of these for like $1.50, you know, and then you can manually pipe it in. But yeah, so Ed, I hope we answered your question. I'll reply to this comment with this video so that he Ed knows that we answered the question. Yeah, so story time. Oh. Story time. So Joe had to call customer service.
Hang on, a shock. No, really?
I did. I didn't want to, especially because it's almost Christmas, and I did feel legitimately bad. And my UPS driver had some 4-letter words to say when he came up and was like, I know what you were going to return. I know what you're trying to get me to pick up, and I hope that it's in the box. And of course it wasn't. So I'm going to try to make this as short as possible, right? Basically, my wife and I wanted to get a new mattress. You know, we've talking a lot about mattresses on this channel, on this podcast. And so I was like, you know what? We really like the mattresses that we have for our kids. They work really well. It's Linen Spa is the name of the company. It's on Amazon. It has, I don't know, tons of reviews, right? So I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, let's get the king size version of the full size bed that we have for them. Get that. It took like almost a week to get here. It comes in this big long tube, and you unravel it, and you got to cut it open, and it unfolds and blows up and all that. Well, I was like, I know you're supposed to wait 48 hours or whatever for this to like fully like open, but it wasn't going past a certain amount. So I'm like, this is not a 10-inch mattress. This is an 8-inch mattress. And I knew that as soon as I put it on the bed, and I saw that there was a big gap between where the mattress was and the bottom of the headboard was. And I'm like, yeah, we have a topper thing, but like it didn't even come close. So I was like, all right, this has got to go back. So I reach out to customer service via chat. It took like 20 minutes there to explain to them, they sent the 10-inch box, but inside was an 8-inch mattress. Okay, no problem. We're going to get UPS to pick this up. I said, it's not going back in the box. But they're like, well, before we can accept it, we need you to take pictures. We need you to take a picture of the mattress, the box, all the barcodes, the shipping label. I'm like, you guys shipped it. Like, what do you know what it was? Like, come on now. So I did all that, sent it to them. And basically they were like, okay, we're going to send UPS to you. Cool. I'm like, so UPS shows up the next day, and I already went on there and was like, hey, I don't think that they're going to take this mattress because it's a king size mattress that's completely open. It's big, it's heavy, and it's not in a box. Like, UPS doesn't do that. You know, they don't do that. So guy shows up, backs up in. He's like, I just delivered this like 2 days ago. 2 days ago. He's like, please tell me that this is still in the box. I'm like, I can't tell you that because it's not the right mattress. Yeah, so he calls up his manager to try to do something. They can't do anything. They're like, you just have to cancel the return. Or cancel the pickup. So cancels the pickup. We had a great exchange. He was awesome. He was happy that I was being understanding because he's like, so many people are not understanding about this whole like it has to be in a box thing in order for me to take this. And I felt bad because I'm like, I know your truck's probably very full. It's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, like 2-3 days before Christmas. It's not a great time. I feel bad, but this is what Amazon wanted to do. So I get on chat and they're like, okay, or actually I call them right after that. I said, hey, this isn't going to work. So then they're like, oh yeah, we're going to get our big heavy department to like work on this. I'm like, okay, cool. So then I get an email right after. We understand that there's a problem with your mattress, and we would love to give you your money back as soon as we receive the product. And I'm like, nobody understands what a king-size mattress is, apparently, because if they did, they wouldn't be asking me to ship this thing back. So I called again after I received that email, and I got somebody. So I was talking to somebody. They gave me to their supervisor. That supervisor had to go and talk to another supervisor to figure something out. Then he was like, okay, I have two options. First option ain't going to work. I'm going to the second option. Talks to, I guess, a different supervisor or somebody else in a different department. That lady was like, yeah. So when I talked to her, she had to confirm everything. And she was like, the only reason I know how to do this is because when I first started working here, this kind of thing came up. And I'm like, thank goodness that we got you on the phone and not somebody else who just never had this can't understand how this happens. And she's like, yeah, so basically once they put something in for a return, they cannot do anything but accept the return. They can't just give you a refund or whatever. I was like, look, I'll drop it off at one of your warehouses. I don't really care. I don't want the thing at this point. It's not the right mattress. It's not going to work for me, period. So she's like, yes. She's like, no problem. We're just going to give you a refund. Have a great day. But that's 2 hours of customer service between the chat time to the phone call and the phone call time, plus the time wasted with the UPS. The UPS guy did have a drop off, so it's not like it was a total waste, but it did waste time on his part at a very busy time of the year. So I feel really bad. And now I got this mattress sitting in my theater room that I'm not sure. I've been trying to call people I know to be like, hey, who needs a mattress? Who needs a king size mattress?
Do you know what's crazy about this story?
That it happened to me?
No, that's not crazy. And it's not crazy
right?
that you were on the phone to customer service. That's just normal. That's the normal part of the story. The crazy part of the story is if this company sells mattresses, you can't tell me this hasn't happened before. Surely they've got a system for this. You would think, right? I'm sure that Jen agrees with me here. If you sell mattresses, there's got to be a return system. It's very, very weird.
It's very weird. And I've always wondered about mattress returns because the major mattress brands that do the mattress in a box, they all have pretty generous return policies. Nectar, you can return your mattress supposedly anywhere within 365 days. And I always wondered what happens if you call them on any day, but say day 364, and you want to return the mattress. Like, do they come pick it up? Like, because like Joe pointed out, king size, any mattress is a big bulky item, and you can't put that genie back in the bottle. The mattress does not go back in the box. So I always wondered about that, if anybody had ever tried to return their mattress and what happened. Now I kind of know, at least from Joe's experience. Well, mattress stories.
I just wish I had called them from the get-go instead of doing the chat. Because I feel like I could have gotten somewhere with somebody to like get it through their head that like this ain't I'm like, there's a 0% chance of this going back in the box. The box is folded up. There's no way. I don't have a vacuum sealer. This isn't a thing. This isn't going to happen. But they don't know. They're just customer service people. I'm lucky that they're even real people in the chat. It could be a bot for all I know.
Yeah,
exactly. Like an intelligent bot, like an intelligent AI bot or something to that effect. But yeah, so it's disappointing because like I gotta get rid of this mattress now. Like, and we slept on it one night. So we're like, okay, well we'll try it and see what happens. And it's like, no, this ain't gonna work. So it's just one of those things. Like they messed up. I'm kind of glad they did because like once I got back on because we have a foam mattress, like a memory foam mattress. Once I got on that spring mattress, I was like, ooh, this is why I didn't like spring mattresses. I've had our memory foam for like almost 10 years now, and it still works just fine. It's just I was like, let's try. Like Melissa really likes the kids' bed, so like let's try that. And I'm glad it didn't work out. And it wasn't my fault that it didn't work out this time.
Saved by the mattress, Joe.
Yes. But here's my theory, though. My theory is that mattress was not by accident put in that box. And the reason I have that theory is because they have no 12-inch mattresses available in king size on Amazon. It says like 1 to 2 months. And the 10-inch... the 10-inch there was like 4 or 5 available, which is why I pulled the trigger and was like, all right, I'll just order it, and then I guess I can return it later. Maybe I can return it to Kohl's like everybody else returns everything. Like I had to return the mattress topper to Kohl's, so that was like, but that that's foam, so you kind of fold it up and you kind of walked in, and I had to help the lady stuff it in a bag, and then another bag on top of it to get it to go. Anyway, point being is that I forget where I was going with this. Darn it.
The 10-inch, the 12-inch.
Oh, yeah. So my theory is that they probably ran out of 10 inches and we're just going to put 8 inches in the box because people aren't going to ship back a mattress. And most people wouldn't notice because most people, well, I don't know if most people are as big as I am at 6'3", 250 pounds, but I noticed like as soon as and as soon as you put it on the bed, you know, the way our bed is set up, like it was obvious that the math was supposed to work out. 10 inches plus 2 inches equals 12, which equals what we had before, just in the one mattress. So wasn't even close. Wasn't even close.
Well, I'm glad it worked out in the end. Oh, look at you.
Not yet.
Close.
It is not. It is not worked out. Yeah, I got to get rid of this mattress. So I have some feelers out, and worst case, I'll put it on Facebook Marketplace, and we'll get rid of it. I just don't want to throw it out because like it was literally slept on one night, and it's a brand new mattress.
If you want a king size mattress, give Joe a shout. There's a million views of people that might go, I feel like a new king size mattress.
Yeah.
that Joe has slept on. So maybe I should sign. I can sign it for you or something.
An influencer has slept here. A real life influencer has slept here. He's got 1 million views and 1 million minutes on customer service lines. You too can have this mattress.
America's most known customer service line person.
I try to be nice. I'm not trying to be.
Your customer service reps need a mattress.
Yeah, right.
I wonder if the customer service reps all get together and go, so what did Joe talk about today?
You know he's on a list. He's on some sort of list.
I reckon he is too.
Right,
there's
I don't know what you're selling.
There's a secret club happening behind your back, Joe.
Oh, it's like the Vegas the Vegas pinup board of the people that can't come in back in like the 70s.
Yeah.
We did have a question here from Al Williams. Oh, I'm getting some feedback all of a sudden.
You are getting some bad feedback.
Oh yeah, I wonder why. Jen.
I always feel like I'm the guilty one, but I haven't done it.
No, it's not Jen.
You don't think it's Jen?
No.
I don't hear it anymore.
It's
gone. Oh. No, I think. Are we gone? Is it gone? I think it's gone. Okay.
I hope it's gone.
I hope it's gone too. I don't hear myself anymore. Anyway, Al Williams says a lot of times the CEO of a company doesn't have the majority equity as his partners. Depends on the money other people put into the companies. Please speak on that. Thanks.
Well, I guess this is true. Equity is a thing, right? I don't know. I don't like giving up equity personally. I think this probably happens when CEOs of startups need investor money to get their product off the ground. And so they sacrifice equity in order to make that a reality, right? So it's a trade-off. I don't know what I'm supposed to say, Joe.
Okay, well, I'm the same because I'm thinking that the CEO is there to do a job, not necessarily as the equity partner. Like the CEO is the position.
Right.
Joe, take it away.
Well, so the way I'm interpreting this, Al, and you can, if you're still with us, Al, drop some more chat to elaborate a little more. But the way I'm looking at this is like the CEO of a company, say like Disney, right, where the CEO is not the majority shareholder; they are there to do a job. But even on a smaller scale, where we're not talking about multinational corporation, top 100 companies in the world. It does become a problem because you go from, if you were the owner and you give up that amount of equity, where you are now just the CEO of the company instead of the founder, CEO, and majority shareholder, you are beholden. I mean, you're always beholden to people that take money, you take money from and in exchange for equity, right? Like as soon as it's a huge responsibility. And I talked about it there was an interview I did for a news outlet not too long ago, like a month or two ago, talking about the glorification of giving up equity in your company and when that's really maybe not the best move to do, and people are like, oh no, I'm just going to sell equity in the company, I can get this cash. But the reality that I come across this all the time in the reaction videos is like the amount of money that you're asking for isn't necessarily a justification, like there's not enough justification for that money of like what you're going to A, do with that money, and B, not enough money that like you couldn't just maybe go get a loan or get friends and family to take, you know, to get that money. I mean, when we're talking, to me, if we're talking about $100,000 or so, in the grand scheme, like, it is a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot of money if you expect the business to actually, you know, produce a profit and grow and flourish, right? I mean, when I get to quote unquote a lot of money, it's north of $250,000, usually around 500, starting around 500,000, 250 to 500,000, because that is a considerable chunk that getting a loan for isn't necessarily the easiest thing to do, and not everybody has friends and family that can deliver that level of money to you or the business. At least, you know, at that point, you can maybe do a Kickstarter or something, but don't screw that up because you will quickly go to zero. I have friends that have gone to pretty much zero, and that was on a service or a digital product, not even a physical product from a Kickstarter. So, you know, I think that the dynamic there is it's tough because even as the founder, you have your vision for it, but you're not running, even though you're running the ship, you're really not running the ship. Everybody else is, because everybody else is actually, you know, has their money in it at that point. Not that you didn't necessarily have money in the beginning, but, you know, now it's your time, it's your energy. That's, you know, of the three big resources that you have, those are the two that you're putting in at that point. So I don't know, does that help either of you open up what your thoughts are?
No, I think that what you've just said is, I agree. Well done, Joe.
Oh, well, thank you.
I can second that. This motion has passed.
Excellent.
Oh, sweet. hey, I said a thing. Okay, cool. So, I think that pretty much wraps up all the topics. And unless anybody else had any last second questions here, I think the way we could spend the last couple of minutes here together, let's talk about what we're grateful for. I know New Year is next time we get together, Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern, Friday 8 a.m. Australian Eastern time. Is it 8 or 7? It's 8, right?
8.
It's 8.
8.
But, you know, who would like to talk about what they're grateful for through 2021, which has not been the greatest of years, and it's looking like 2022 is going to be a hot mess as well.
Yeah, we're going to be having hot messes for a while, aren't we? Look, I am going to say, as much as it's been a roller coaster, for all of the downs, there's always an up, right? So we've had lots of downs, lots of things going wrong, but very grateful for my team, very grateful for my audience that's followed me through the rebrand of my podcast this year from Thought Leaders Business Lab to Influence by Design. Very grateful for you guys. We started Business Geeks at the start of the year. We had a break. We're finishing the year together. Very grateful for that. And very grateful for my team that I would not have been able to do anywhere near what I've done with our company this year without our team. I'm very, very grateful for them. But something else I want to add, if that's okay, unless you want me to come back to it. I think that what I want to leave, the message I want to leave people with today, because obviously, you know, this is a business show. The people that watch it are either in business or want to be in business. It's really important to take this time out for yourself, to recharge, to reflect, to rejuvenate, and not to push through because, you know, we've had a crazy time and we're going into, you know, the next crazy time. It's not going to stop anytime soon, but that pressure is always going to be there, and it is so important to take time out, spend time with loved ones, spend time just, you know, looking after yourself, you know, watching Netflix, walking out in nature, whatever it is that you like to do, hanging out with friends, because otherwise, you know, after the few years that we've had, there's going to be a lot of burnout and, you know, burnout, depression, all sorts of horrible nasties. So definitely take some time out and look after yourself. Sam's service announcement is now complete.
Daddy.
Speaking of time.
Yeah.
You had to come. You
Uh-oh.
had to come for movie night. So
Okay.
we
Jen, why don't you take it away while Joe's doing dad duties?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, this year's been a wild ride, right? We had so much hope in 2021, and I don't think it turned out quite like we were all hoping it would, but I still am incredibly grateful for so many things. I think my list is ridiculously long, and I almost feel guilty for all the things I'm grateful for. But I would like to give a shout out to the scientists who developed our vaccine and our vaccine boosters, and now the FDA has approved a treatment pill for COVID. Thankful for the booster that I recently received, and for science, the teachers, the frontline workers that are helping us all get, seeing the worst and dealing with the worst as we all try to get through this pandemic the best we can. So I will say that I am super grateful for my clients and my team. They all happen to be incredible women that inspire me every day, makes getting out of bed every morning a joy and a pleasure. It's so great to be able to look forward to working every day and doing what I do, and just loving every second of it. I just could not be more grateful for that. My family, my friends, my dog. I can't. I'm very fortunate. The list is very long. I've definitely had a lot of positive in my life. So I am also grateful for you guys, because this is a blast every week to come together and talk on my favorite subject, which is business and small business, and talk to other people who are interested in the same thing. And that is so gratifying. So thank you for that.
Oh, no, thank you.
Always so articulate, Jen. I always feel so bad. I should have let you go first, so I could have thought a bit bigger.
I am in shock, because I always feel like I'm just randomly stringing words together and hoping in the end that there's a period and that it makes sense.
Look,
Jen, I'm always your biggest fan.
Right back at you, Sam.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of both of you, and the stringing together words to make a sentence. Like, look, if you go back, there's actually was two popular videos. Before I talk about my grateful thing, there was two popular YouTubers that just did videos on Gary Vee and some of the crazy things that he has said through the years, and just being like, wow, those were words, but they didn't make a lot of sense, and didn't really answer a question or anything like to that extent. It just, there's a lot of that going on, but putting words together, it sounds good, right? And that's what we're trying to do from the heart, right? And that's the important part, not just rhyming it. Being grateful for, for so many things, really the last 2 years, being able to spend time, getting to know like my kids, right? And when I didn't get to do that as much prior, I'm super grateful for that opportunity to be able to be here, pretty much since March of last year, and getting to, have my son where he didn't know who I was, or he wanted mommy all of the time. He came out here because he wanted me, but mostly because he wanted me to come watch the movie that I guess they're starting in a little bit, or maybe have already started. Now I'm looking at the camera, but anyway, so it's just those types of things that have been such a joy to me, and have changed, the dynamic of how I look at life, and what's really, really important to me, and how I spend my time. And being grateful for my family, and for the, the business that's been able, to help enable all this over the last couple of years. And to get to spend time with both of you, starting since, off and on since the beginning of January of 2020, before everything went really, really haywire. Has just been an absolute pleasure, and to be able to bring this back, and now to have a bigger platform than ever for both of my businesses, is just absolutely phenomenal. Look, I talked about this the other day yesterday on the live stream that like, look, since I was a kid bringing websites online from like 96, 97, I've wanted to build a community. I've done the Yahoo groups, I've done chat rooms, I've done like all these things to like bring people together and digitally, that is, and in person, but specifically to be able to have this 8-year or 20-year journey and now like things are actually coming together and actually like building onto each other, and all the skills that I've learned over the years all literally coming into one is just phenomenal. It's I'm super grateful for everybody that watches and everybody I've gotten to help and learn, and I'm even grateful for the people who think I have the worst channel on YouTube and have the worst videos on YouTube, because look, the feedback helps you get better, and maybe telling them that I appreciate them will maybe give them a nicer day than they would have had otherwise. And I get to have great days every day for the most part, and yeah, so I am grateful for all of that, and even though 2022 is shaping up to be potentially pretty terrible as well, let the good times roll, right? We only get to go through this once, and there was a video I was watching the other day, to bring it back to YouTube, that talked about, would you rather be a king/queen 150 years ago, or like living in a New York shoebox apartment today? And I think the answer is I'd rather live in that shoebox apartment today, because the niceties that I have available to me in that shoebox apartment are leaps and bounds better than living as a king or queen 150 years ago. I mean, running water is just like literally the number one thing. Running water, I'll take that all day. Hot running water at that. So, let alone cell phones and all the other things that we have access to, food, and all that. So, super grateful for all that, and so excited to see what 2022 brings, even though probably not some great things on the horizon here.
Well, time to collaborate, do some great things, surround ourselves by great people, and together we can actually get through it. We've proven that in the last 2 years. We're still standing, we're still here. We still have smiles on our faces. We're still grateful. And I think a lot of that is by surrounding ourselves by amazing people that we can really enjoy doing life with. So we'll just continue to keep doing that.
Absolutely.
100%.
Lots of reasons to be hopeful.
Yeah.
And to double back on what Sam said about taking a break, take a break, and lean into taking a break. Don't just take a break in the sense of like, I'm just going to do a couple of hours, and then a couple hours turns into a lot more hours. If you're in a position to be able to take a break, even if you're really not in that position, do what you can to take that break and lean into it. Don't just like, I'm working, but I'm not really working, but I'm really working. Lean
Sharpen
into
the
it.
axe. Sharpen the axe. Yeah.
Breaks are incredible for growth. Like I can't tell you how many times I've taken breaks from things that I do in business and in hobbies and in life, and then have been able to get exponentially better at it because I've taken that step away.
The insights come in those breaks, doesn't it? The insights come, the creativity comes. So taking a break could be the best thing you ever did for your business.
100%. Maybe we'll talk about that next week and talk about breaks.
Let's do that.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching all the way deep into this. Again, we love our sponsor, my podcast, or your podcast, concierge.com. Go check them out. We'll see you next week here, Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern, Friday, 8 a.m. Australian Eastern Time. Have a great Christmas, everyone.
Merry
Kwanzaa.
Christmas.
See you then. Take care.